Hi, on the workbench today I have a Miniware MHP50 solder pot. It was sent in from Miniware. As usual, I will leave a product link in the video description below for those who are interested. Now, if you have been following my channel, you probably have watched my review of the MHP50 Hotplate. So the model name might be a little bit confusing as this one is also MHP50. Now, this one of course is a solder pot, while the other one I reviewed is the Hotplate. Let me actually bring the MHP50 Hotplate over. You probably have noticed that the bases of the hotplate and the solder pot are actually identical, hence the MHP50 model name. What differs is actually what is being plugged in. Because the MHP50 has this modular design, everything actually makes a lot of sense. The idea here is if you have an MHP50 base already, you can change the attachment depending on the job at hand. If you remember, I also reviewed this SA80 soldering iron adapter that also plugs into the same base. So this MHP50 base now has an ecosystem built around it. According to the specs, the maximum power consumption is 150 watts, which I assume is controlled in the firmware, and depending on what is plugged in, the maximum power can be adjusted. I definitely like the fact that the MHP50 comes with both a barrel jack and also a USB-C input. Because while USB-C power PD adapters are quite common nowadays, most tops out at 65 watts, with a maximum output voltage of around 20 volts. Higher wattage power PD adapters are available, but they tend to be quite expensive. So having a barrel jack definitely comes in handy if you have a suitable power supply. The maximum rated input voltage while using USB-C power PD is 28 volts, and it is 24 volts if you're using DC barrel jack, although I was able to use 28 volts via the barrel jack without any problems. Before I test out the solder pot, let's actually take a look at the manual and see if there's anything interesting. So for that, let me plug in my barrel jack. So right now I'm using 28 volts. So let's take a look. And I'm going to enable the output. Let me try to adjust the exposure a little bit, because I don't think you can see the display here. Now I think you can see the display better. Let's actually go through the menu items. So keep in mind that we have two of these buttons. You can control to enter the menu, to select the item, and so on and so forth. So that functionality is actually quite similar to all the other Miniware hot plates, including the MHP30 as well. Anyway, so let's get in. So I think to get into the menu, I need to press the right button here. Yep, you can see here, that's the menu. So you can see here, we can actually scroll through the different menu items. So let's go to menu. And here immediately, you can see that we have some preset temperatures. And you can see we can set the standby time, backlight time, tilt angle. Yeah, this one has a accelerometer built in. So when it's tilted, you can cut off the power so that it's safer. And volume, temperature unit. So you can see we have a power PD, power max, and DC power max. Now, this is where we can adjust the maximum power allowed. This is useful in case your power supply has a limit. By setting the maximum power here, oops, now you went back to the manual here. Yeah, it has a timeout. Okay, so anyway, so by setting this maximum power value below your power supply's limit, will allow you to use this MHP50 to accommodate your power supply. Now let's actually adjust that because I think we can actually set it to the maximum. So come down here. Let's go to DC power max. Let's go to DC power max. And let's actually set it all the way up. Let's see what it is. Yep, so the maximum is 150 watts. Very good. And that's the calibration. And you can see that it also supports reflow profile. And that is actually most useful for the hotplate. But because we have these interchangeable plugins, the settings are here as well. Now let's take a look at the info. So you can see the model number and the current input voltage is 28 volts. Firmware version and the Bluetooth name. Ah, yes. The latest MHP50 has Bluetooth built in. And you can actually use the supplied apps to control it via your smartphone. Now, I didn't do it because the app is actually not on Google Play Store. You'll have to download the APK and install it by yourself. It also supports Apple, but I don't have an Apple smartphone, so I don't know if the situation is actually the same with Apple. Alright, because this MHP50 has the latest firmware, I fully expect it would be able to work with the Hotplate and the soldering iron adapter. So before I heat up the solder pot, let me actually swap it with the Hotplate and the soldering iron adapter and see if they work with this MHP50 base. I have no doubt they will work, but just wanted to see it for myself. Alright, let me first turn on the power and unplug the Hotplate here. You can see this one is for MHP50, and here is the Hotplate here. You can see also this one is designed for MHP50, and they have the identical interface, so we can just swap it in. So the first one, let's actually plug that in, and let's see if it recognizes it. I think it should. Let's just try heating it up. Yep, you can see it works with no problem. I'm going to cut the power because I don't want it to heat up. And the second one we're going to test is already getting warm. And the next one we're going to test is the soldering iron. This is the SA80. Let's plug it in. The other way around. Okay, so let's plug in the power and try heating it up. Yep, you can see that it works like a treat. Very good. All right, I just switched back to the solder pot, and I'm going to put this much solder wire in there so we can see how fast the solder pot is able to melt the solder. Now, for today's video, I'm not going to put too much in because the flux inside, I think there's going to be a lot of smoke, and I want to limit that. Also, I want to show you something useful I bought on AliExpress, and that would be these ceramic tipped tweezers. And these are very useful because these tips are insulated and also are not heat conductive. So you can use it, for example, in this case, to skim off the dross on top of the solder pot. And also, when you are troubleshooting circuitry, you don't have to worry about shorting out any leads. I'll leave a link in the video description below. All right, now let me turn it on and let's see how fast it will melt this solder here. And by the way, this is lead-free solder, so I think the temperature we're going to set is going to be 220. It's not going to be enough. So let's change it to, let's see here, 250. I can't really see it. Let's change it to 300. Don't know if you can see it, but there's already quite a bit of smoke coming out. I'm hoping it doesn't trigger the smoke alarm. All right, so you can see the solder is molten there. Of course, the smoke keeps coming out, and I'll let it dissipate for a few minutes so that we can continue here. Well, this turned out to be quite disastrous. It's already been 5 minutes, and you can see it's still giving off smoke. And I'm just going to quickly finish the video because I don't think the smoke is going to die down, given that we have a lot of flux left in the solder pot here. So anyway, let's actually try tinning a few wires. So let's start with a smaller diameter one. So I put some flux on, and let's see how well it works. Yeah, you can see that. We tin the wire with no problem. Let's try another one. And this one is slightly thicker. Again, put some flux on. So a solder pot is definitely going to be useful if you have a lot of wires to tin all at once. You can see that we tin this with no problem. And also it has a huge capacity here. In theory, if you, for example, have a full pot of solder in here, and you can actually use that to desolder some larger components. Of course, you will have to have a relatively flat PCB where you can access the component from underneath. Anyway, so let's actually try to tin this wire here. So again, give it some flux. And here we go. Of course, if you're trying to get rid of some of the dross here, you can just use the tip here to gently remove these. Right now we don't have enough solder here, but you get the idea. You can actually use this to get rid of some of the stuff on top here. Let's try one more. So this is actually going to be a very thick wire, and it's going to be difficult for you to use a soldering iron to tin it. So let's try this. And you can see that, no problem. And you can see during our entire exercise, the temperature is somewhat maintained. Of course, we set it 300 degrees. Right now it's overshot by about 10 degrees, and also now it's undershot by 5 degrees or 60 degrees. But generally, it's able to maintain that temperature right around the set temperature. All right, I just let it cool down a little bit. And now I think I want to show you the power consumption here. So of course, we only have a little bit of solder there. I'm not sure if it will reach the maximum power, but let's give it a try. So let me turn it on. And let's change the temperature to 300 again. You can see, yep, we're drawing right around 140 watts. So that's very close to the maximum we set. And let's see how long does it take for the solder to melt. It actually only took about 10 seconds. I don't know if you can see it, but right now the solder is already molten. So yeah, very good. Of course, you can see the smoke probably. So as I have demonstrated, this solder pot actually worked pretty well. And also the interchangeable plugins is definitely a neat concept, especially if you already have one of these MHP50 devices. Solder pot is not for everyone, but if you are doing a lot of tinning, it's definitely something useful to have. And that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you liked the video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. And if you want to further support my work, please consider joining the channel and becoming a member. Your participation makes videos like this possible. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.